My first guest speaking tonight is Victor Gao. Who's won the war? Has anyone won the war?
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, the United States and Israel joined hands from the very beginning in launching this act of aggression against Iran, which is a sovereign country with territorial integrity, a full member of the United Nations. So this war is a war of aggression, and Iran has full justification to defend itself. By today, I think Israel has lost, the United States has lost, the United States has lost its credibility and reliability, and they are suffering the consequences of this war of aggression. Now, Iran also lost a lot. They suffered a lot of casualties and costs, etc. But Iran proved to be a strong country to defend itself at any cost. And I think by today, the world is fully convinced that Israel has now won. Its Iron Dome is completely a joke. Its David Sling is a joke in front of all these massive attacks by the missiles and the drones of Iran. And Israel should really learn a lesson. Israel should embrace peace rather than agitating for war, and never should be allowed to launch a war of aggression against any other country. And while Israel and the United States are accusing Iran of developing a nuclear weapon, it is Israel which has violated all the international laws by possessing a nuclear weapon for years, if not for decades, and has threatened using a nuclear weapon against other countries. It is time for mankind to urge Israel to abandon its nuclear weapon, to really make sure that the Middle East will become a region of nuclear-free zone. This will really enable all the other countries, including Iran, never try to build another weapon, and let's really guarantee permanent peace for the Middle East as a whole.
Okay, Victor, so I would like a response from our Israeli friends and from Alison to that introductory comment from you. Terry, maybe you want to go first. The sense one is getting is that with the continued Iranian strikes today and the Trump's appeal for a ceasefire, it's not as complete a victory for America and Israel as one would have imagined a couple of days back. Your thoughts, please.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank your Chinese colleague for confirming that Iran was building a bomb, because up until now, Iran and China have been denying that Iran was trying to build a bomb. They were claiming it was for medical research purposes. So at least we've got that out of the way, and we've established that fact. That Iran has been lying to the international community for decades now about doing this. So thank you for that. Listen, if you compare where Israel and Iran were 2 weeks ago to where Israel and Iran are today, there's no doubt that this is an incredible military campaign carried out by the Israeli military. We have managed to set back the Iranian nuclear weapons project by months, if not years. We have destroyed large parts of their ballistic missile program. We have destroyed their main proxies in Yemen. We've weakened them there. We've destroyed them in Lebanon, in Syria, Iraq. They're on the back foot at the moment. And Iran's military strategy of protecting itself from the north with Syria and Hezbollah has failed. In the south, it hasn't really been able to respond. Trump's response to the pathetic few missiles that were telegraphed and coordinated between Iran and Qatar in advance, and they only did it on Qatar because they knew that Qatar wouldn't respond. He said that was very weak and pathetic, but thanks for letting us know in advance. Iran has nowhere to go now. And the fact that now China and Russia are standing up and saying, we're going to take you to America, to the UN Security Council. Well, where were they before the American strikes? America said they were going to, take 2 weeks to think about it, and in the end they took about 2 days. But Russia and China were silent. All of a sudden, after the attacks, they speak out. That's not a real friend. That's not a real friend. So if it is friends like China, I would rather, choose other friends. I think that Donald Trump has come out of this a friend of Israel, a friend of Iran, and a friend of everybody else in the Middle East. And he has postured to China and to Russia saying, if you try anything going forward, you'll see what has happened. So the biggest winner is Trump. Second Second is Israel. And the third is the Middle East and the world.
You financed Iran and you told them to give the money to the Houthis, the Hamas, the Hezbollah. You wanted to fight a war in the Middle East through other means. The Iranians thought, Saurabh, that when we get into trouble, then China will come in for us. That was the whole calculation. But when Israel and then America bombed the living daylights out of Iran, China just looked the other way. They issued a statement and did nothing. How reliable is, which country in the world will now ever depend on China after what they've done to Iran? Very bad. I actually am more impressed with the Iranian determination to fight than anything else.
Anna, are you finished?
Victor, nobody trusts you. You're an untrustworthy country.
Finished? Listen, China is the largest trading nation with more than 140 nations.
Good, yeah,
in the
don't
world.
stop threatening the world.
Yeah,
you know,
well, including Iran. But China does not support military activities. China condemned.
There you are. We don't support military activities.
China condemned the United States for the joint action of aggression against Iran. That's the really very noble and justified.
But Victor, your condemnation does not help.
China opposes state-sponsored terrorism. China condemned the
You did not even help Russia. You did not even help Russia.
History will record.
You did not even help Russia.
And I hope you will wake up.
You tried to gain in trade from Russia. You did not even help Russia. India helped Russia. India helped Russia. India stepped in for Russia. You didn't help Russia. You didn't help Iran. You helped nobody. Did you help Bangladesh when the regime change happened? Did you help Sheikh Hasina when she was threatened by Joe Biden? No.
Promotes peace.
You don't. Oh, what peace? You don't step in for any country who you promise.
You are doing a rebel.
Okay, let me tell you this, Victor. IMEC will happen. IMEC is happening. Saudi Arabia, UAE, great nations, Israel, Europe, Italy, India, all are going to be connected. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. But people will ask you that if you set up the Iranians for this, did you stand up for them when they were being bombed? When there were threats, to eliminate Ayatollah Khomeini, where was China? Where was China then? Where were you looking?
Let's talk about IMEC. Chinese economy is 5 times as big as India. Has India really built good quality highways, railways in India?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And by the way, you're no longer, let me tell you, you're no longer 5 times as big. By the way, listen to me. By the way, you're no longer 5 times as big. And in purchasing power parity terms, India is a $17 trillion economy. In purchasing power parity terms, we are growing twice as fast as you. Apple is moving out of China and coming to India. Manufacturing across the world is moving out of China and coming back to India. Don't fool yourself. We have more allies in the world. Our military is stronger than you, and our aspirations are greater than yours. You can't even land on the moon, but we do. But we do. I mean, you talk about one sector where you're leading.
By moving things onto trucks and trains.
Now listen to me. Don't you tell me why did the Hamas attack Israel? Why did the Hamas attack Israel 29 days after Modi announced IMEC?
Download them onto ships again, move them across the Mediterranean.
You're losing your.
Upload them again onto trucks and trains.
What trucks and trains are you talking? You're losing your. You're getting confused.
That the chief engineer never has done infrastructure and connectivity at all.
IMEC will happen. IMEC will happen.
But the way it is designed is a complete disaster from the very beginning.
IMEC will happen.
Let's hope. Do you want to bet your house on IMEC?
I will. I'm not a gambler like you. You're a gambler. You're a gambler. I'm not a gambler. I'm a wise thinking Indian journalist. I'm asking you, why did Hamas attack Israel? This whole Middle East situation, what was the need? What did you gain? To put the Middle East in turmoil?
I think the people in the
Why did you do this?
Are tired of the expansionist movement of Israel. And for Israel to indulge that they can sign a peace treaty with Saudi Arabia is, as of today, a pipe dream.
Okay, I would like Terry and Dan to respond to you on that, because you don't like peace clearly. You want to create some volatile situation. You want people to fight each other. I don't know why. What do you gain?
Strong is the force for peace, Anand. You are talking about.
I'm not saying a thing, but Terry, you see.
Paradoxes.
Yeah, please.
You are laying into IMEC. First of all, the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, has been a disaster. Right, and more countries are now seeing that wherever you go, you're causing problems. And you should not have backed the Iranians. You should not have told them to go and release Iran to kill over 1,000 Israelis. That was a mistake, and you will pay a price for that mistake because as America has stood strong with.
You are even talking about Israel peace treaty with Saudi Arabia. Talk to the Saudis. Talk to the Saudis. Do they really want to sign a peace treaty with Israel? With your aggression against Iran? No.
Actually, the Saudis have said thank you to us. And if you listen to the way the Saudis have responded to the Iranian attack on Qatar, it was far stronger than the way they responded to the Israeli attack on Iran, where in Iran we took out all of the military echelons of both the army and of the Revolutionary Guards, the people that have been terrorizing Saudi Arabia for decades, the people that have been funding and arming the Houthis who have been attacking Saudi Arabia from the south. So actually Saudi Arabia said thank you very much, and it will bring us closer to a more sane, sensible and prosperous Middle East. And I hope that China will be wise enough to join in that story, because it is a story that can be good for humanity. Please join.
Israel should talk more about peace. Israel should not talk about war after war after war after destruction.
Dan Pfefferman, Dan.
Talking about war will come your way. That's the philosophy. I hope you will.
Why do you want to get others to fight your wars? If you want to and you have the courage, why don't you fight a war yourself?
China is a defender of peace.
You can't fight a war. I mean, you have a non-combatant army. You have a non-combatant army. You have a non-combatant army. You know that. You never won a war, never fight a war. You have no experience.
Remember what happened in 1962?
Wow, yeah, but this is not 1962. You want to try? This is not 1962. You want to try? You want to try? Let's talk about India giving you a bloody nose in Galwan and Doklam. Want to remember what we did to you 2 years back? You want to remember when the Chinese went back crying? Saurabh, let's remind them. When we beat you up and you cried, you want to be reminded? When you had to admit how many Chinese soldiers were killed? India is a tough country. India is a tough country. India is the toughest country with the most combat experience. Okay? You understand? You're a non-combatant army. You didn't even support Russia.
When you refuse to recognize the reality, the whole world knows India lost the 62.
Go back to 62. Go look at now.
The whole world knows that whole world knows about the Chinese duplicity. The whole world knows about how you steal secrets. How you have been trying to foment these wars because of your own thing. Everybody knows. You know, you were rattled by the fact that Apple was investing in India. You were rattled by the fact that Quad was doubling down on China's bullying in Southwest Pacific, and you egged on. You egged on Pakistanis. You egged
on the Pakistanis? No, I'll tell you one. Saurabh, 1 minute. I'll say one thing now. Victor, I'll only speak after you finish, and you must allow me this. Victor, you must allow me this. See, Victor, I think Terry Newman touched a raw nerve here today. But I say this to you. See, listen.
Not talking about the joke.
Okay, now listen, Victor.
Which no other country has.
Victor, see.
And you are talking about the war with China?
Victor.
Come on.
Victor,
let's talk about peace.
Victor, see. Every country, sometimes countries like China have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. There's no problem. You do. The question here is this. See, let's look at things very logically, Dan. There would be no war if there was no China. If China had not egged on Pakistan, we would not have bashed up Pakistan. If China had not egged on Iran, you wouldn't have bashed up Iran. Right? They got bashed because China was like trying to do this little puppetry behind the scenes, puppetry.
And I just say you are living in parallel universe. You do not belong to the earth.
No, I'm bringing you down to earth.
You belong to the outer space.
Dan, we see through we're just a very frank channel. Dan.